The Memphis Grizzlies faced off against the New Orleans Pelicans on November 29, 2024. It was a game that highlighted the stark contrast between the two teams' current forms. The Grizzlies, fresh off a 4-game winning streak and with a solid 12-7 record, showed that they are starting to hit their stride as they prepare for a strong push in the Western Conference. Meanwhile, the Pelicans, struggling at a disappointing 4-15, are in the midst of a challenging season, plagued by injuries and offensive inefficiencies. New Orleans came into the game with a heavy burden. Zion Williamson, the team's star player, was still sidelined, and the Pelicans have struggled to find offensive consistency. Even though they had DeJounte Murray back in action, scoring 14 points in a recent game, New Orleans' offense remained one of the worst in the league, averaging just over 100 points per game in their last 5 matchups. The Pelicans' scoring issues were a glaring concern heading into the matchup with Memphis. The Grizzlies, on the other hand, have been thriving thanks to their defense, which has been one of their strongest suits all season. Memphis's ability to limit opposing teams has been the driving force behind their success, especially as they've managed to hold teams to an average of just 114 points in their past 5 games. With players like Jaren Jackson Jr. and Marcus Smart anchoring the defense, Memphis is able to stifle even the most potent offenses. The Pelicans' scoring troubles were only magnified by the Grizzlies' defensive discipline, making it difficult for New Orleans to get into any rhythm. While Memphis's offense isn't exactly explosive, the team's well-rounded attack has been more than enough to keep them competitive. Head coach Taylor Jenkins has managed to get contributions from across the roster, with multiple players averaging double-digit points. The return of their core players has helped Memphis become more dynamic, with Ja Morant leading the way after recovering from injury. Furthermore, the addition of Scottie Pippen Jr. as a backup guard and the versatile big men in the paint have helped Memphis to become a more balanced team, capable of adjusting to different matchups. For the Pelicans, their struggles were evident throughout the game. Their offense lacked cohesion, and their defense could not stop Memphis from scoring in bunches. With New Orleans unable to capitalize on Memphis's occasional offensive lapses, the game quickly became out of reach. With the Pelicans sitting at the bottom of the standings in the Western Conference, it's clear that significant improvements need to be made if they hope to compete this season. In the end, the Grizzlies showcased the importance of defense, execution, and depth, emerging victorious and further cementing their place as a rising contender in the West. The Pelicans, meanwhile, have a long road ahead of them, needing to find answers on both ends of the floor to turn their season around. Stay subscribed for more videos.